How's it going, guys? My name's Archangel VX, and this is my review for Forspoken. So as a character, I can sympathize with Frey and her situation. Living in New York, she's trying to leave a shitty situation and start a better life for her and her cat Homer. I've noticed in the very beginning of the game, touches on a bit of a sensitive subject of, as we can see, early on in the game, she tries to, well, jump off a very high building into oncoming traffic, but she ends up stopping herself. Frey ends up finding a magical sentient bracelet, which he nicknames Cuff, aka Van Brace, in a shop in New York City before she is teleported to the world of Athia. Cuff also gives her these magical abilities, and upon finding these magical abilities, this is where all of these cringe dialogue rip-aparts start to begin, basically.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved shit with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just moved shit with my freaking mind! Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, talk to sentient cuffs, kill jacked up beasts. You know what? I'll probably fly next.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Oh, that's too far. Good to know there's a line.
If you could just master these new abilities, with my help, of course.
Did you not just see me take out that gnarly beast? Oh, bring it, you mangled monsters!
The dialogue in this game, especially coming from Frey, I would say is a bit of an acquired taste, but we'll touch on that more later in the review. So the world of Athia basically being affected by what Frey would nickname the break, because everything to her seems broken, with the break taking up the entirety of the world. The open world is pretty much empty of human characters and littered with these break zombies. And the wildlife also, too, is being affected by the break, so there's various monsters, wildlife like alligators, deer, birds that are transformed into like these zombie-like creatures. And so with these break zombies and break creatures, using her magical abilities, Frey will have to fight through them and, protect herself. Since the majority of the open world is empty, the only real populated place in Athia is called Sepal, which is the last bastion of hope. Here, Frey will meet plenty of characters to give her side quests and detours to partake in.
Outside books. Could you bring us pictures?
I don't see why not. Just don't expect too much, okay? I'm not a great photographer.
I don't know what that is, but thank you. I'm so excited.
The break has also affected the leaders of Athia, known as the Tantas. They are powerful magic-wielding matriarchs, each representing different virtues such as strength, justice, love, and wisdom. Frey is awkward to the idea of being a hero and is quick to dismiss people, but we see in certain situations where she is quick to do the right thing. Early on in the game, Tanta Sila attacks Sepal, and in that attack, a small child is killed, pushing Frey to seek vengeance against Tanta Sila. Being in this new world, Frey will speak to everybody like as if they are from New York or native to where she comes from, so everybody around her will kind of question the way she speaks, and every time Frey is just kind of surprised, like, oh, well, how come they don't know what I'm talking about? Because Cuff is infused to her arm, he can hear her thoughts. So he's always questioning her about what she's saying, or, like, oh, what are you talking about, basically. And sometimes just the reactions from these characters is pretty funny.
After what you called the break shit. Let's just go with the break. After the break occurred, people fled their villages. Sepal is the last bastion.
Damn.
Cuff helps Frey navigate the world and tends to act as a guide as she traverses the very beautiful landscape of the new world she's in. Also, talking about Cuff, I found that there was a lot of times where he was just annoying or rude to Frey. Which, I mean, there are reasons for this. But then at the same time, he can be very kind and concerned for her well-being, which makes sense because if Frey dies, he's basically stuck to her arm. And because Athia is basically an empty open world with no living creatures, it's all the break zombies and just the break everywhere. If Frey dies, he's basically trapped to her body. So if she's like miles away from civilization and she dies, he's basically stuck to a rotting corpse. As vile as that sounds, it's pretty much the truth. In one of my videos for the Let's Play of Forspoken, literally as soon as I turned on my PS5, I started the game up. You know, Frey will normally make a comment like, "Oh, what are we doing again?" And Cuff, just for whatever reason, is just getting angry at her. And it's just like, I'm sorry, I just got home from a long day at work. I just turned the game on, no need for the attitude.
What were we doing again? Get your act together, will you?
Yeah.
Shut the hell up, Cuff. Yeah, like I literally just started the game and the Cuff's giving me an attitude. Like, I don't understand that. It's just annoying. You could just be like, oh, cool. Let's start the adventure up again. Yeah, let's go. But then it's just like, stop standing around. Oh, I hate you. It's just like, come on. Don't be a dick and don't be annoying. Yeah, you can turn off the dialogue between Cuff and Frey. There's a slider. Well, you can't turn it off completely, but you can minimize the amount of dialogue basically between them. So the only times you'll normally talk is if there's something that points them into the right direction of a quest or something. I think the setting is like high, medium, low, and then minimal. It's somewhere, it's kind of set up something like that. I think I had mine on minimal the entire time. Things get complicated and even stressful for Frey, as her only intent is just to go back home to New York, even though she complained that her life was shitty and she had no way of escaping this shitty situation. Even with her new amazing abilities, she only really cares about herself and could really care less for Athia.
What's unfair is the only person capable of helping us is too self-absorbed to do so.
I've shed blood for this place.
Our people welcomed you. They were frightened, rightfully so, but they still welcomed you.
They needed me.
What's wrong with that? People need each other. We help one another without complaint. It's the Athian way. Not that I should have expected you to understand that. After all, you're not one of us.
No, you know what? You are right. I didn't grow up here. I didn't have a community that supported me. I couldn't go and drink with my friends at the bar. I couldn't go outside and play with the kids. I couldn't walk on beautiful landscapes. I didn't have a mother or a father that wanted me or loved me. So no, I don't care what happens to Athia. If it's saved or if it burns, I don't give a shit because this place is not my home.
They both had their own points, but it's just like, yeah, Frey has been so
easier on her.
Stay out of it.
Her father just...
Yes, I know what happened.
You need to pull yourself together.
Don't tell me what to do. I am sick of killing myself for everybody else. Why can't I just do what I want for once?
You are an Athian. You should want what they want.
Fuck no! I may have been born here, but I am a New Yorker through and through, asshole, and there is no place like home. I am not giving up. I am finding a way out of here. There's gotta be something in those archives.
Frey, please, if we could just take a moment.
No more moments. No more from you.
It's like, I feel for Frey in her situation. It's like all other games where you kind of just thrust it into these situations. The main character's like, oh, well, yeah, fuck it. I guess I'll just, you know, do it. But then she was saying back in New York that she wants a better life for herself. And I mean, she could make a better life for herself here, and then at the same time make it for all the other people. And she was more concerned about getting out of here than seeing somebody, you know, die. So it's very conflicting. Although this does change throughout the story, it's conflicting for me as a player because my feelings for Athia and the people are different from Frey's. I would say the story gets very good near the end of the game, which is a shame because I feel most people who haven't been enjoying the game will not be able to experience it. The different twists and turns that happened during the later chapters were something I was not expecting. So if you do plan on playing the game, I would recommend just sticking out for a little bit, going in blind, and hopefully you enjoy these twists and turns that I did. Exploration is basically the same as any other open world game, with a map that is littered with things to do. In Athia, you'll find these things called belfries. Once scanned, you will see the various activities littered across the map. These things to do include gaining new experience, increasing your defense, health, and strength. Finding new capes and necklaces, nail designs, and safe houses where you can rest up and craft healing potions or upgrade your gear. These safe havens also have challenges where you can upgrade and enhance your different magical abilities as well. The open world is pretty empty from a story standpoint because all there is roaming the world are the break monsters, so because of this the world doesn't feel alive. It's just different enemy types that are scattered all over the world. I personally don't mind it being like this, so it's really up to you to decide whether or not if you like it. I know I've seen people complain about open worlds being empty in certain games, but I feel like from a story standpoint it does make sense for this game, but again, that's really up for you guys to decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. In terms of magic, there are 4 magic types. The first magic type you get is when you meet Cuff, and the others you will get after defeating the other Tantas in the world. The starter magic, known as, well, Frey's magic or purple magic, is a mix of earth and plant-based attacks. 3 of these 4 magics are mostly ranged or projectile-like attacks. The red magic from Tantasila allows a player to do more melee-based attacks. Personally, I wish there were more melee options. Maybe in the upcoming prequel story DLC they will change this, but who knows? To upgrade your magical abilities, you will need to find mana. You can find mana littered throughout the world, or you can partake in various activities throughout the world that will give you more mana to allow you to upgrade your abilities. You have a primary and secondary magic attacks. When you hit the R1 button, depending on which magic ability you have these 3 different abilities that you can use as main attacks. So since we're on the lightning or the green magic, I have this one, the Storm Dart. Your primary magic, the R2 button, as you hold it down, can increase from level 1 to 3, basically making the attack more powerful. And that's if you've upgraded the specific ability. So as you hold it down, it'll start to increase in the attack power. Then as you hit the L1 button, it'll bring up the secondary attack depending on the magic. So we'll go over here to projection, hold L2 down, shoot it. As you can see, it's pretty much reloading. Then go to another one, hit that one. And then in combat, as you're fighting enemies, they will start to recharge, so you're able to switch on the fly using the D-pad buttons. So you can just on the fly, or you can hit L1 and R1 and then change to different magics. So I'll hit L2 and R2 and I'm holding it down, and the longer you hold it down, the stronger the level will be. So I only have level 2 for that one specifically. And like I said earlier in the review, you can upgrade those abilities with the mana that you find. So right now I only have level 18 mana. So these are the different abilities that you can either get or you can upgrade. And as a bit of a side note, I love the adaptive triggers. There's just the weight and the resistance of the L2 and R2 button. It just feels great as always. Now we get to talk about the proclaimed cringe dialogue in this game. So in my personal opinion, I don't really mind this cringe dialogue as much. It's not the best dialogue in the world, but it's not the worst thing. It's kind of like in between. It kind of alters back and forth between whether it's going to be good or bad. It's nothing like mind blowing. It's nothing like oh my god, this is like the greatest thing ever. It's just, I don't know. It's just bland. Well, maybe bland's a bit of a harsh word, but I would just describe it as like mediocre, okay. Just it kind of goes into being bad. Sometimes it'll go into being good. I don't know. I didn't really mind it as much as everybody else. I know everybody. All these reactions all these videos, basically, streamers' reaction to the cringe dialogue. So I guess I'll throw my hat in the ring and I will show you guys my reaction to this cringe dialogue in real time. This is going to be from the first video from my Let's Play, so I'll play that for you guys real quick.
Fine, we'll just tell your boss, Mr. Giggin. All right, Giggin, quick gig. I just tell him I need some
Oh
more
my
time.
god, this is so cringe.
But for now, here's some collateral.
Oh shit. I thought that was so cringe. She's got a gun up to her head and she's stuttering. Like, that is so fucking cringe. 0 out of 10. I hate this game so much. I'm gonna complain about it on Twitter. And she just gave the middle finger. Oh my god, this is so cringe.
Damn it, Frey!
Damn. Oh, that is so cringe. Oh my god, I hate this game. Oh my god, the F-bomb. Oh my god. Bunch of fucking losers. And like I said earlier in the review, it's a bit of an acquired taste, the dialogue. Whether you like it or dislike it, it's really up to you. It is what it is, basically. So this game is rated M for mature. But like I said, with the dialogue being, you know, not the best, not the worst, I just don't know who the audience is for, basically. I've noticed that there's a lot of, like, dramaticness to some of the dialogue, like I just move shit with my mind. Like, that just seems kind of like Marvel movie-ish, I guess you should say. And just all the fucking fuck F-bombs that are coming out of the main character's mouth. I don't really know who this game was really intended for. I mean, Frey Holland is, I think, like 21 years old in the game. So maybe the developers and the writers thought, oh, yeah, this is how every 21-year-old speaks. But it's just something I wanted to bring up for this review. Obviously, that's a major talking point for most people with the dialogue and everything. So I kind of, as I'm reviewing the game, I wanted to mention it, touch base on it, and then let you guys know about it. Now we're going to talk about the bad things, the things that I disliked in Forspoken. So as you heard, for the PC optimization, I have played this game on the PS5. So I've noticed while playing on performance mode that the resolution at times seemed blurry, and then I'm noticing that there's a mix between people who are able to play the game on PC, and some people are having difficulty even starting the game. So I never tried the demo on PC, so I wouldn't know if my actual PC build would be able to run Forspoken. As I've said, I've basically just played the game on PS5. I'm sure that they've released some sort of patches for the PC, but again, I'm not the best person to ask about this game running on PC. You'll just have to look up other fellow reviewers or look up like Steam reviews or whatever and kind of see if people are still having issues or if any of these issues have been fixed. And I've noticed that at some point during my playthrough, I needed to turn the music volume down a bit because at times I could not hear what Frey or Cuff were saying. For some reason, the music was just way too loud and I could barely hear anybody talking. So at some point I did have to turn the music volume down, which I don't know why. Normally in most games I've played, the characters' voices are way louder than the music, but for some reason for this game it's the opposite. I think one of the worst gimmicks in this game, I'm going to call it the lamp gimmick. The These lamps appear during the third Tanta fight arc, as I'm going to call it. So you have one lamp that will just spawn enemies, and you have to destroy that lamp to prevent enemies from, respawning. If you keep killing the enemies, they're just going to keep respawning. You have another lamp that has a magical barrier on it that will shoot out enemies. I think it may be like 1 or 2 depending on the enemy type, and you have to kill that. You have to kill the enemies before destroying the lamp. So once you've gotten rid of the enemy, the barrier will go down and then you can destroy the lamp. Now, during this arc, it's just almost every enemy encounter, this lamp gimmick appears. Now, having it like once or twice spread out, that's one thing. But in one section, you don't have to go through one lamp, not 2, not even 3, 4, 5, or 6. You have to go through 7 different lamps. You've got 4 lamps on different corners of the area, which are spewing out the cannon fodder break zombies. And then you've got the 3 in the middle with the barrier, and you have to defeat the enemies that come from that before you can destroy the lamps in the middle because they have the barrier. And these enemies they're like there's one enemy he's like the brute, and you've got these 2 other enemies. They're like really fast and annoying. That is like one of the worst things about this game. Like it was so annoying. It was so obnoxious. Like you try and fight one of the bigger enemies to destroy the ones in the middle, and while you're trying to target one of the like a specific enemy or even a specific lamp, depending on where you're running around at, you've got so much happening on screen. You've got all these zombies everywhere, and it was so annoying. Like even the 3 like enemies that spawn from in the middle, it seemed like they got like a bit of like a difficulty boost. Like their attacks and everything were being boosted. No, yeah, target the big boy. That's taken an ungodly amount of time to fucking kill. So I felt like this part specifically with the 7 lamps, it just fucking dragged on and on and on. I died at one point. So I can't dodge to one side. He just like a homing missile. Man, if I gotta do that whole thing over again, I'm gonna be so pissed. That having like 1 at a time or 2 or 3 at a time, Jesus Christ. I might as well just focus on the big fucker, because that is exhausting and it is very obnoxious. I had to redo the whole thing over again. And then I think at one point, like, my game kind of froze for a second, but then thankfully my game didn't crash. I would have been so pissed. Oh my god, I thought my game crashed. I would have been so fucking pissed if I had to redo that whole thing over again for a 3rd time. But thankfully, I was able to overcome the odds, but it was very annoying. You had to just keep continuously running around the area, dodging every sort of enemy, basically, because you were just being overwhelmed. No, come on. Attack the one small guy, please. Yeah, it's really hard to focus on one fucking... And then there's the bird boss battle. This boss, you're in a town, so you've got like rooftops, alleyways and all that. And I don't know what they were thinking, because this boss, you could just be sitting on a rooftop and you'll be shooting at the enemy, and the enemy will just endlessly circle around you. I can't fucking shoot you because you're flying around me. But then that's like the only thing that you do. And if you have and if your target locked onto him, you know, your camera's basically spinning around with the bird, And then if you try jumping, because obviously your camera's pointed up at the enemy, you're continuously falling off the buildings. And it was, oh my god. Might as well just fucking sit here because you're not going to attack me. That was basically after the lamp gimmick. It was like a chapter or something after the lamp gimmick. And it was like the final like stretch of the game basically. Oh my god. Just thinking about it. Just thinking about that and the lamp gimmick again. I don't think I've mentally recovered from those moments in the game. They were just so terrible. Come on, do something other than fly around me in circles when I can't fucking hit you. Thank you. And now we come to the verdict of the game. What would I rate Forspoken? If we're talking about the combat and the magic spells itself, maybe, and including some of the really good story bits from the game, I would say maybe a 7 or an 8 out of 10. But if I'm talking like overall, I would say this game is a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I would not recommend this game at full price like I did. I bought the main game. I bought the deluxe edition. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I would rather you guys, wait on buying this game. I'm sure eventually the game will get knocked down in price, hopefully, maybe. I'd be surprised if for another few months it's still high price or barely goes down any, but definitely not worth $70+. Maybe I'll do a Let's Play for Intanta We Trust, which is like the prequel story DLC. I think that comes out in the spring or summertime. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, so a 5 or a 6 basically. Not the best, not the worst. I'd say it's pretty, like if you've got a couple bucks to spare when it's on sale, not at full price. If you got a couple of bucks and you just want to, I just want to play a random new game and quick story game, open world, whatever, then yeah, I would say go for it. But at its current price right now, no. And yeah, that is it. That is my review for Forspoken. It is my second review on the channel. I'm sorry this took so long. I think it took me even longer to do the God of War Ragnarok review, but it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think about the game in the comments below. Tell me if you're gonna get it, if you're not gonna get it, if you're loving it, if you're hating it. And I will see you guys in the next video. And just any feedback on this review too. I know I asked in my other review that I did in the other review that I did for God of War Ragnarok, I asked for feedback. So any feedback. I know I'm pretty new to reviewing games. Not even just any feedback, just like commentary, editing, just anything. As long as it's constructive. Don't be like, oh, this fucking sucks. This review sucks, just like Forspoken. At least give me something to work off of. I know I'm not the best reviewer. I'm not Angry Joe or any of these other big time reviewers. Kind of just taking it one review at a time and then kind of learning from the last review. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for, not just this video, but any video. Thank you for checking out my channel, liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate it, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.